Fragrance is date for men. Well, yeah, I know. I'm married, so obviously a date fragrance is not really much use to me. But Mark sent it to me in this. Does it vibrate? I don't know. I could damn well try. Word to your mother, my name's Steve, this channel is Fragramce Riches, and thanks for tuning in, it's much appreciated. Today I am doing a first impressions of Fragrance 1 Date for Men. Now, the reason I'm not doing a full review is because I thought I'd keep it in line. I only ever did like a first impressions of the Office for Men, and so I thought I'd do this kind of same thing for this one to see if my first impressions is better than what I kind of got from Office for Men. Now, Office for Men, I was sort of quite underwhelmed when I first smelt it, and I said it's perfectly nice, but it was just kind of nothing special. And in many ways, I sort of stand by that. It does actually perform quite well once it kind of starts settling down. The embroxing really comes through on my skin, and I was going to sell it, but I decided to keep it in the end, just as a sort of office fragrance. Basically, it's a bit of a dumb reach. It's not one that particularly excites me though, and I think it's hella overpriced, but it is a perfectly pleasant fragrance. Now, is Date for Men any better? Now, Mark, your average fraghead on Instagram, is an absolute legend, and he sent me this rather suggestive sample of Date for Men. I've resisted smelling it before I kind of got the camera on because I wanted to kind of film my first impressions for you. So I'm quite excited by this one. I think I'm going to prefer this one because I typically like my kind of sweet, sort of sexy type fragrances, and it's got some notes in that I sort of really quite like. I notice there's mandarin in there, but it's probably just going to be gone. It's a top note, but there's obviously oud, vetiver, and a few other kind of notes in there that I sort of quite like. So we'll sort of see what this is. So let's give this a go. Just do the wave. Here we go. I like that. That's nice. It's a nice amount of sweetness. Don't dislike that. It's not kind of over the top sweetness. I thought it might be a little bit too much, a bit sort of too full on, almost, you know, kind of sickly sweet, but no. At the top there's, I'm getting some of the sort of fresh zinginess from the kind of mandarin. That's a perfectly nice fragrance. It reminds me of another fragrance. Now, do I think, here's the big question again, do I think that's worth 180 odd quid? I don't. I mean, I wouldn't pay that. But again, I know they do plenty of kind of buy one, get one free, etc., etc., and that's the time to get it, by all means. It is a nice fragrance, and I think it worked really well in a date scenario, definitely. I think if you didn't go too heavy, you could wear that in the office. It's not, I thought it would be kind of really overpowering and sickly sweet, but it's not. It's just a nice sweetness. There's sort of the touch of oud in there, but again, it's not particularly oudy. It's definitely not kind of skanky or barnyardy or anything like that. It's, you know, the oud isn't even as strong as like oud wood or anything like that. It's very kind of subtle, kind of a subtle background kind of woodiness. It does remind me of something, and I can't think what. I can't think what it is, but I'm not going to kind of start saying that this kind of smells like loads of other things, but I'm just going to do a couple more sprays and then we're going to call it a day. But slightly anticlimactic because it's kind of a really nice fragrance. I think this is nicer than Office for Men. I guess the difference being is how often is Office for Men, you might get more wears out of it because it's a bit more of a versatile fragrance, but I would say it's probably going to be more divisive, where this is really nice. I actually like the opening, the kind of zingy mandarin lemon bergamot type opening is better for me. On first spray, I like that lemony zinginess with some of the sort of sweeter undertones. I would wish it stayed like that, but quite quickly the lemony zinginess, which I've said a few times now, dies down, which is a shame. Because the opening is actually really nice. I really like that with the mandarin and that and then the vetiver kind of comes through, and I really like that. It's kind of quite a fresh yet sweet fragrance, but then that citrusiness dies down, unfortunately. But it still leaves a perfectly nice fragrance, but I really like the opening. For me, I mean, obviously this is just a first impressions, but the opening I think is lovely. And I would happily wear that opening, but unfortunately it just loses some of that as it goes in, as it starts drying down, which is a shame. But yeah, it's a good fragrance. I'd much prefer that, I think, to Office for Men personally. Still don't think I'd pay that sort of money for it. But yeah, if it lasts, it's a bit more unique, I think. It's a bit more interesting, a bit different, a bit more unique than Office, and I would happily wear that. So you go, a bit of an anticlimax. Sorry guys, I'm sure you wanted me to slam it or slate it, but I prefer this to Office, definitely. I won't be buying it, not for full rate. If I could get a good deal on eBay then, or something like that, then yeah, I'd probably pick up a bottle. But again, I'd probably not want to pay more than like 60 quid really, 60, 70 quid, but that's just me and my budget. So there you go, hope you got something out of this. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to listen to my weekly podcast, The Scent Geeks, that I record with Chris from the channel Fragmental, and that is released every Monday, and you can find it in all the usual places like iTunes, Spotify, etc. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you for the next video. Take care, much love. Yo, I'm back. This is certainly not a full review. I've not worn it for a full day. We're talking, it's literally just been on my skin for about 10 minutes, if that. So I just thought I'd just come back and briefly kind of confirm my suspicions earlier that for me, the opening is where this is at. The opening is really nice. I really enjoy the opening. That kind of zingy fruitiness with some underlying sweetness. And it is just really enjoyable. Unfortunately, as soon as it starts kind of drying down, like 10 minutes in, which is kind of what I've got now, it's still perfectly pleasant. It's got this kind of sweetness, but I don't know if it's the oud coming through more, but there's a real dryness to it on my skin. It comes across as just kind of quite dry. Now, I think it might be the oud coming through a bit strongly, but it's not, again, it's not like barnyardy or skanky oud. It's not, you know, a pungent. It just might be that with the vetiver that's kind of giving it this kind of dryness as it dries down, which is a shame. It's just a bit disappointing, unfortunately, because the opening is amazing. The opening is where it's at. If the opening is how it smelt for the life of the fragrance, I would probably buy this, but I'd still get a deal or promo code. But on the dry down, the sort of, it's just quite sort of a bit dry on my skin. It loses some of that sort of zesty fruitiness, which is a shame. So yeah, my suspicions were kind of right, but as I say, this is not a full review. I don't know how it's performed. Who knows, in an hour or 2 hours it might dry down some more, but I'm not coming back anymore. This is the last time I'm switching the camera on for this fragrance. So I just thought I'd confirm my suspicions. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.